that better, Kels? The volume dial on my mic was turned all the way down for some reason. Yippee! Thank you. I would have been yapping into the void if you hadn't pointed that out for a while. And I was just saying that I'm trying to decide whether to do the toothy paper or the smooth paper for this guy. Hey Stanley, how you doing today? I think I'm gonna do the smooth one because I just tend to like smooth better than toothy when I'm acrylic painting. I don't know how my gouache opinions stand yet, but we're just gonna tape the edges of this, get it attached to the board. I'm thinking that maybe I don't want to do this one too literally because there's a lot of detail in it and I don't want this to be a like 3-stream painting. So we're gonna try and do it a little bit more painterly than the photo reference gives. Oh no! Washi roll out. Oh, it's not gonna be long enough. We can do it, we can do it. Might just make it. Ooh, I hope I have more washi tape around here somewhere. Okay, we still got a couple. Texture fights you, but you like how it looks. That's interesting. I have never really liked painting on textured surfaces. When I paint acrylic, I tend to paint on boards instead of canvases because the texture, like, just irks me for some reason. And I don't like doing the prep work of, like, gessoing it a bunch beforehand. But I haven't worked enough in watercolor or gouache to really know if I have a preference for it yet. You're getting snow today, Sandflea? I thought you already got your snow. More? I think we're supposed to get some more this week as well. And I'm pretty good. I'm feeling a lot better. I think my sickness is finally gone. I think I am healthy again. Hopefully it stays that way for a while. Today is the last one this week. That's lucky. Just get it over with then. Okay. Taped in. And get rain, you think? So it should be sloppy and gross. Sometimes that's worse than just getting the snow in Canada. Especially if I have to walk anywhere, I would way rather it be snowing than raining. But in the city in Ottawa where I am, we're really, the snow is piled up and they now have nowhere to put any of it, so rain would be kind of nice because it would melt some of the mess. Okay, let's see. I can get you guys zoomed in a bit better before I start working. Mentioned it before, but my camera setup is a little bit testy. It likes to move around. We'll start there. You stay put. I think today I've been drawing this stuff out with pencil beforehand the last couple of gouache streams. I think I'm just gonna continue that. It seemed to work okay. I did have a little bit of issues covering some of it up in areas, but that just made me put more layers on, and I think that was good. Although I am thinking about maybe I won't do that. I was thinking about doing the sky in watercolor instead of gouache, and then doing the rest in gouache, because the sky that I did for the other picture, I did a couple days ago, I wasn't that happy with the way it worked, and that's probably just a skill error. Like, I don't really know how to make gouache look like smooth and vibrant and yummy in a sky way, and I could fight with it and try and figure it out, but I think I'm just gonna grab my watercolor palette and just do the sky in watercolor. I just think that'll be the easier move. Next week, you're getting a few warm days, around 4 in your language. My language, in degrees Celsius, you mean? Us Canadians tend to be pretty versed in both. I think I understand Celsius and Fahrenheit. Oh, hey. I didn't know I had all these paintbrushes in here. I could have been using some of these. Not a filbert in here, is there? I've been complaining about my lack of a smaller than 6 filbert for days now. Come on, give me a filbert, please. You got a filbert? What about you? I must have stuffed all these paintbrushes in here the last time I took this watercolor palette with me on a adventure. Forgot all about it. Damn, no filbert. Oh well, still gonna have to go out and buy a new filbert. But yeah, this guy is who I'm just gonna be using to do the sky. I'll just pop him over here for now. You guys can look at him while I do this. Yippee though. I didn't realize I had all these brushes hiding away. It's gonna be handy. You refuse to understand Fahrenheit? That's fair. I feel like, my parents, it's weird. My dad's the immigrant. He's the one who is Filipino, and he knows Celsius. And he uses exclusively Celsius. But my mom and my grandmother, who are, like, Canadian and white, they use Fahrenheit when they talk about the temperature for some reason. And I don't know if that's just because, like, the internal thermostats in their house are, like, set to Fahrenheit by default, so that's, like, what they've learned in their brain, but it's really weird when I talk to them. Like, my dad talks in Celsius, my mom talks in Fahrenheit. And yeah, for cooking, it's kind of all over the place. But yeah, you're right, like, oven temperatures, it's usually Fahrenheit. It's all very odd, isn't it? You'd think as a society we could all decide to conglomerate, but... Canada's supposed to be using Celsius. And like they do in that, like when you watch the news or whatever, all of it will be listed in Celsius. But that doesn't necessarily mean everyone living their lives actually follows that. It's just kind of like we're supposed to use the metric system all around, like we're supposed to be using centimeters, meters, and stuff, but when I took carpentry in school, we still use like inches and feet for that, just because it's kind of like an industry standard, and it makes it more complicated if you do it the metric way. I don't know, it's weird. We're kind of a hybrid place. Distance is measured in time if you're talking about driving. Yeah, that's true. That is a very Canadian thing. We don't say like it's 100 kilometers away. We say like it's an hour from here. Which honestly makes more sense to me because, like, that's what actually matters, right? It matters how long it takes to get somewhere, not, like, the actual number. Okay, I have soaked this paper. I'm using a slightly higher quality paper to do this one today because I've been getting really annoyed with how much the cheap stuff I've been using has been bubbling. And because I'm doing this in a little bit of a larger size, I just didn't want to deal with that. I'm gonna tape the bottom down too, though, because it is a little on the bouncy side. My goal for streaming. Looks like you were in early days. Yeah, I don't really know. We've streamed previously gaming for a bit, and then we kind of fell off. And I was using a different channel and a different name then, but I didn't get very much further than this either. The main reason why I've been streaming is mostly personal accountability to continue to do art. I have really poor personal accountability if I'm the only one who I need to be proving that I'm doing it. So having any kind of community waiting for me to do anything is just good for my motivation. But I don't, I have like health issues, so I don't work. I haven't for a couple years, and streaming is one of the few things that if I could make any kind of a community with it, it would just be one good practice to maybe get me into a kind of routine that could get me back into the workforce once I learn how to manage my like problems a bit better. But also just if it works out well and I can stream as any kind, even a small amount of income, it would be something that I could control when I was doing it, so that I could stream when I felt well and I could take breaks when I didn't, without having like an employer who you're letting down when you have to call in sick all the time. So and yeah, Sandflea and a couple other of my my mainstays here in chat, they pressure me to stream. They bully me. I say things like, I don't think I want to today, and then they say, no, you gotta, come on, you said you were gonna. And then I do it, and then I'm glad that I did it. And then I'm really grateful for them. But yeah, there's just, I feel like with art for me, I've always kind of done better when it has some kind of community affiliation. Back when I actually like did art regularly when I was in high school and university, I think a big part of the motivation was just having friends who were constantly doing art and seeing other people's art and them seeing yours and having conversations about it and stuff like that. It keeps you kind of thinking about it and interested. And now that I don't really have any artist friends that live near me, I only have a couple like artist friends and they live kind of far off, so we don't get to see each other often. We don't get to like hang out and do art, so Twitch is just a great community for that. Even like watching other art streamers stream has been really good motivation for me. Like, well, when I'm working, when I'm not streaming on art, I have usually an art streamer up, and it just like, I don't know, it like feels like you're working with someone. It feels like you're working like co-working in a little community, and it's just kind of nicer. I don't know. Once you get affiliate, you can make cursed emotes too. Oh, I plan on making some cursed emotes. That one's pretty cursed. I can hear the like "we love these subs" that emote represents. My spouse, whenever I'm watching your streams, Kels, and that like "we love these subs" sub emote pops up on screen, it jump scares the shit out of him. He like, no matter what we're doing, like if he's in the other room, it like comes on and it freaks him out because it's like pretty loud compared to your like normal stream volume. Make this one. I told you, Sandflea, I'm gonna make that one, but it's gonna be a sexy Weber from Don't Starve. A slutty little spider, that's what it's gonna be. Maybe it's too loud, I don't know. Personally, I like it. I like watching him get jump scared. It wakes us all up. It keeps us paying attention. Okay, so I need like a big mop brush. I don't have very many watercolor brushes because I don't paint in watercolor very often, but let me see. Kind of just like a bluey purple. I'm not planning on following this picture super to the T, so we're just gonna kind of start putting stuff on the paper and hope for the best. A little bit more vibrant than I was hoping for, but it is a watercolor, so it'll maybe pull out as I spread it around. No! Really, when you're working watercolor, you should really be working it on a flat surface. This stuff does like to run, but I don't have a very good setup to be able to film straight down. My desk is really shallow for this, so if I don't work on an angle, I don't really have enough room. Oh, this lo-fi track, the playlist that I've got going today is like a Lord of the Rings lo-fi, to try and stay on theme since we're doing a Lord of the Rings painting today. This song is from that horrible, what's it called? The Rings of Power series. It's the Tom Bombadil song. So what I want for this sky situation is I want this vibrant stuff to partially dry. At least get a little bit drier than it currently is. And then I'm gonna try and pull some clouds up out of it. I haven't done this in probably over a decade, so I don't have high hopes, but we're down here. It's a little too vibrant. Just kind of wet and a dab. This isn't the highest quality of watercolor paper. It's a little bit higher quality than the stuff I've been using, but when you're using like mid-quality stuff like this, you kind of got to be careful because the fibers start to like pill up really quickly if you're a little too aggressive with your brush strokes on it when it's wet. The really high quality stuff you can really scrub at and like nothing comes up at all with it. I don't want to be overzealous on this and end up lifting the fibers. In general, I need this to be a bit more of a gradient towards the bottom being lighter. Try and pull a lot from the lower edge. We might do the watercolor thing that I have the most tendency to do, which is get white involved when you're not really supposed to get white involved. No, I don't like that. Probably should use tubed white. My white in this palette is a little on the I take this palette traveling, so I don't have a lot of clean water when I'm painting with it, like, out in the field. So the white gets really, I dip the other colors in a lot, and then it doesn't stay nice and pure. Rules schwools. I mean, I think everyone on Twitch is kind of running on that, that notion. I haven't seen a lot of people following traditional painting rules with mediums on here, which I'm very for. It's a lot of, missed opportunity, in my opinion, when people, take, like, traditional practices a little too seriously and they don't, just let themselves experiment. Learn them to break them, you guess? Yeah, that's the way. When I was in school for art, though, I think they broke a lot of students teaching them the rules. But I guess that's because they weren't very clear on the fact that outside of a school setting, your worth isn't tied to whether or not you paint like you're being taught to paint. I might be inclined to actually, like, near the end of this, I'll see what this sky looks like once I get the foreground in. And I probably won't do this, the big silhouetted tree in the background until later in the painting. And I might end up going in with gouache on this sky anyway. Right now what I've got going is a little on the painterly side. And I don't know if I want it to look a little bit vague or if I want to try and make some of these clouds more defined, stylistically speaking. Since that is what we're trying to do, is figure out how to make stylistic decisions instead of being a photocopier when painting. So I'm just gonna let this dry up and then we'll start working on the foreground. And maybe come back to it with some gouache afterwards. One tip that when you're trying to make up sky shapes, one tip that I don't know where I picked this up from, but that I always for some reason come back to and think about when I'm trying to paint skies, is that cloud formations usually have one refined edge and one soft edge. So if you add a color block in, you leave one side harsh and blend the other side either up and out or down and out, just depending on which direction you want the hard edge to be in. And I find it does kind of, I don't know, create sky-like shapes. I don't know if that's a hard rule. I'm sure there's situations where you can see clouds where that's not the case, but... Okay, where's our fan at? Let's give this a good dry. And then I think we're just gonna switch into the gouache immediately and start going. I'm gonna block some stuff in first because I like to have the block-ins before I start getting into the details, but we'll do a vague block-in. Actually, I'll draw Once this is dry, I'll draw the vague shapes of the block in pencil, and then we'll block in the colors, and then after that we'll start working from the background into the foreground. I do get impatient with gouache and watercolor. The last 2 streams I've done in gouache as well, I've been impatient because surprisingly the drying time between layers is a little bit longer than with acrylics. In my head, like, acrylics would be longer to dry than gouache and watercolor are, but you use so much water in the gouache and watercolor that you have to wait for it to evaporate. I know I said I was just gonna leave this alone, but I can never leave anything alone, you guys know that. Did I play Overwatch yesterday? I did really briefly. I actually played 2 rounds this morning too before Goldie went to work. It's a pain in the ass because it's a new season in Overwatch, and they put these things called perks in. So every character now has 4 potential perks that they can unlock during the matches, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. They're fun in their own way, but it just means more learning. Like, it's stuff that people have abilities and stuff, and I have no idea what they do. So we'll see. I gotta play some more of it before I decide how I really feel about it, but... Right time to change to Marvel Rivals? Honestly, maybe. Maybe. I should download it at least. Open it and give it a try. I have fallen a little bit off the Overwatch train compared to how much I was playing it before, so I wouldn't be too mad about switching out at this point. It's a girl with ears and a tail in Marvel Rivals. Isn't that the squirrel girl? Honestly, I would probably play as Rocket Raccoon. She's a squirrel, not a fox, but close enough. I could be Squirrel Girl. What is, in Marvel Rivals, there's not, what's it called, right? Like, it's not divided specifically into healers, DPS, and tanks. Is that right? Am I understanding that correctly? That everybody kind of... You can change, like, willy-nilly between roles? I used to be pretty much, like, exclusively a healer. I was a Moira main in Overwatch for a long time. But I branched out a lot in the last little while. And now I kind of, like, don't mind any of the 3 roles. So I don't know what I would feel like in Rivals, but... Characters that could work for both tank or DPS. Interesting. Oops. Did I put that there? How did that get there? Must have dipped my hand in something. One healer can change from healer to DPS. Ooh, I kind of like that, honestly. I like the versatility. It's part of why I like playing as Moira, that if your tank doesn't, or if your team doesn't really need the healing, you can kind of trade out and just go attack mode. And if your team is suffering, you can focus on healing. But I'll definitely, I don't know how long I have painting in me today. I almost didn't stream because guess what? I've been having internet problems. Yippee! For how many days in a row? I was looking for reference pictures to paint today, and my internet was just so slow. It just wouldn't load anything. And I ran a speed test, and my download speed was fine, but my upload speed was like 2. It's like 2 megabits. It was like absolutely unstreamable. So I had to like unplug the router and wait and plug it back in, and it kind of seemed like it sorted itself out, and it seems okay now. So I did decide to end up streaming. I don't know if that's gonna hold. As Sandflea, you know and have experienced, our internet problems have been really harshing on my vibes this week, making my life real difficult. So everyone cross their fingers and hope that it was a weird fluke and me restarting my modem will have just solved any potential problems. As long as it looks fine so far. I should check what my stream health report looks like. It seems okay. Maybe just a weird fluke, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know, I haven't been feeling painting today. I'm doing it because I like should be, and because like I said yesterday, I will be gone for a week. Starting Tuesday, I won't be around for a week, so I wanted to try and get some more painting done and some more streaming done while I still had time to be doing it. So I decided to do this anyway, but I really like, I'm not in a painting mood, so I'm kind of forcing myself to be, which doesn't always turn out the best work. So we'll see if sometimes the tides change, and once you start doing it, you get into it. But if I start blocking this thing in and I kind of hate it, then there's a chance I could be persuaded to switch to gaming for a little bit until Goldie gets home. I've got until 7 today, so I've only got, what time is it, 4? I've got 3 hours. I got 3 hours to stream. Yeah, I could just stop and chat. I'd probably hop into a game of some kind, but we'll press on, like I said. It's good for me to force myself to do this kind of thing when I don't feel like doing it. Character building or whatever. I've never been very good with discipline. But in the past, that's always led me to be the kind of person that, like, when I do things, I do it all at once. Whenever I've taken on projects, I just, like, stay up really late and do it all in one big go and don't take any breaks. Because I know if I, like, lose motivation, it might never get done. I'm trying to break that habit in me. I gotta get better at just chipping away at stuff and taking breaks and everything else, so. Okay, that feels dry enough, so we're going to grab a pencil, mark this guy up, and then we will blocker it. This guy's getting dull. I don't know where I keep all my sharpeners. What games do I have? Whatever you're feeling, now you can say you did it. Exactly, yeah. It's as long as I tried, you know. Like I said, sometimes you just start, and then once you start, it like you get over it pretty quickly, and an hour in, you're actually really into what you're doing. So hopefully we're gonna get there. But and you guys, yeah, you guys got to keep me motivated. I can finish the painting. You guys believe in me. I'm glad somebody's believing in me. But I've got lots of games. I have a bunch of games that I've bought on like Steam sales and stuff that I just haven't even played. And then I have some other games that are like kind of old faithfuls to me that I'd like to stream at some point. Should have brought this I don't know, this little dip here that I did is kind of screwing me, so I'm just gonna make the... It's not the right shape, but the hole's gonna dip up there because I wasn't thinking hard enough, clearly. Anything spooky? How do you feel about point and click games? I'm not against point and click games. I'm trying to think, like, the last, I can't think of the last time I played a point and click. Some of my favorite PC games, well, some of them are like older and I probably would never stream. Like D2 is probably, Diablo 2 is one of my all-time favorite video games ever. But I have played that so much I don't know that I will ever play it again. But I really like the Slime Rancher series. I'm a big fan of Slime Rancher. I will probably stream Slime Rancher at some point. Anomaly games. I don't know if I know what you mean by anomaly games. Is this a specific developer, or is it a series? Is it just a game type? Watched. I'm on observation, as well as a couple of games from Project 13. I am not familiar with any of those. You'll have to give them all a look up. You have to notice when things change and report them. Spooky styles. Honestly, that sounds pretty interesting to me. I like anything like memory-based or anything kind of like spot the difference based, like find even those like mobile games where it's like a kind of like an I Spy situation where you just gotta find stuff. You've seen a game like that and find out the name? Yeah, if anybody's got good game recommendations, hit me with them. I don't know how I'm feeling about this like jazzy Rohan situation. A lot of just like miscellaneous shrubbery down here. Said we're trying to be imprecise with these. We're trying not to photocopy. We're trying to just take the gist of shapes, which I am not very good at, but We're getting better. We're learning to care less. And to do more. Caught on camera. Cheap to only $2 you can get. Check some cameras and report any changes. Most of the places are haunted. Interesting. Yeah, that sounds like fun. I would be interested in something of that sort. Same vibe as what you're talking about. Or Backrooms is fun to watch too. I've seen a bit of Backrooms. And yeah, actually that one does seem like fun. I'll have to look at my Steam library and see what all I have to play. I also have like, I don't know if any of you guys do this, but I have an Epic Games account and I basically keep it exclusively to just like hoard every available free game that they list. And never play any of them. I think I've opened maybe one game that I've gotten for free from Epic. So I don't know why I bother hoarding them, but maybe this is why. Maybe it'll all pay off now. The hundreds of free games that I've acquired will surely pay out now, right? Okay. I just dropped that pencil behind my desk. Now we're gonna see that again. Yeah, that's going behind the radiator now. You did that for a while, but then you stopped because you rarely use Epic. Yeah, I never use Epic. I use it to play Red Dead Redemption. That's the only game I have on Epic that I really play on Epic. And I don't know why I have it on Epic and not on Steam. And I think it maybe went on a sale there and it didn't on Steam when I wanted to be playing it, so I got it there instead. It's literally the only thing I use my Epic account for. After the apocalypse, that's what the new currency will be, maybe. Yeah, I can see that. Epic Games. They'll be worth it. I'll make money off those games somehow. I'll trade them on the black market. Now I can play them all here. That's true. Okay, let's get the watercolor palette out of here. We're done with you. You've served your purpose. And also gotten blue all over my desk. Very good. Didn't like my desk being purple anyway. It's fine. We'll just be stained now. Did we really need the, like, soundbite of Frodo screaming? Seems, Sorry, I got a couple drops of blue paint on the floor. Seems a little excessive. Yeah, I did. I blew. It's blue. We're blue. There's no hope for it. It does happen, yeah. Okay. As we did yesterday, I'm going to use this mess of non-hydrated gouache to block in some layers. Just gonna spray her down with the mister. And we're gonna make miscellaneous muddy garbage to start out. We've got lots of green, so... I just hate wasting it, you know? I could just clean and start fresh, but... I feel like I should use this, so we're going to. We paint loosely and with low effort. It feels like we're doing wrong, but it's worked fine the last 2 times, so. This is just a huge area of miscellaneous tree. I always find the beginning portions of a painting so slow and deeply unsatisfying. Don't know why. I know you cover up the most white of the canvas at the beginning, and you block in the big shapes and stuff, and for a lot of people I think that's like one of the most satisfying parts of a painting. But for me, it just like everything looks bad for a long time. I find the part where it starts to look good way more satisfying. Maybe I'm crazy, but my favorite part of paintings is always like repetitive little tiny details. When you just have to sit mindlessly putting hairs in or rocks in. Nice thing about gouache is that your early layers don't really have to be very clean. So you can just keep building them. Excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat. Oh no. That's not good at all. I will be right back. I'm just gonna run and refill my water bottle. She's empty. Excuse me. Maybe I spoke too soon about that sickness being completely gone. The remnants of a cough, they creep up on you at any moment. I'm also trying to get better for not leaving my paintbrushes in my water bucket just sitting in there, because it's not good for them. I feel like my shape on this door is a little off. He's smaller than I think he is. I really don't like working on blank paper. So even if these colors aren't actually what I'm going for, I just kind of want a thin wash of this over the entire area before I clean my palette and put in the actual colors. Just because I find I something about laying my colors down on top of like another color, it just seems to go smoother for me than when I try and mix like the right tone immediately and try and just block like big shapes in on the canvas. Similar to how I paint in acrylic, I have a tendency to want to build everything in really thin layers. I'm gonna do back here. Okay, we've got one section of bushes. There's some green, and then another. Is that a hedgerow or is that just tree? I think that's just tree. So this is bushes. And then behind the bushes is a field. And then behind that is another field. And there is some like distant, maybe I should have done that with the watercolor. There's like a distant purple like land you can see in the very back. I'll grab the watercolor palette out and just stick that in with the watercolors before I move on. Just kind of a purple color. back to the big blocks. There's a lot of green hedgerow down here. Get a nice thin coat of this green all over this like front area that's got a bunch of plants. I don't have a yellow, so I'm just gonna... I don't like that this is just a big expanse of white, so I'm just gonna coat him in a little light layer of green. And we'll figure out where these guys live. Hey, Art Pops, how you doing? Again, like, do they really need to put the, like, sound bites in this stuff? Like, I know it's Lord of the Rings lo-fi, but, like... it sounds like Lord of the Rings lo-fi without you needing, like, a Gollum in the background screaming and, like, Frodo crying out. It's not even like in like some EDM where like it's like they put it in before the beat drop and then it goes like, it goes crazy. They just got him in there screaming for no reason. Unnecessary. You're doing good? I'm glad you're doing good. Doing pretty good. We were just talking about how, I didn't really feel like painting today, but we're here trying to anyway, so. Trying to learn how to show up when you don't feel like showing up, you know? You hear that? Yeah, we all have those days, right? For me, it's mostly because I've been having technical issues. Every time I try to stream, my internet just implodes, or my microphone's not working, or my camera's not working. It gets really frustrating, but... as long as it sorts itself out eventually, I guess I'm not that mad, but... Alright, we're at the point where everything has a big underlayer block in done. I kind of know where the stuff I'm working on lives. Which means going to take a 5-minute break and go have a little pee, maybe make a tea, and let this dry. And I'm gonna clean my palette off so that we can get the fresh gouache down and we can start actually working this. Because the sooner we start putting real colors in, the sooner it starts to look like something that isn't vague and strange like this. So I will be right back, guys. Don't do anything crazy while I'm gone. I don't want to hear any craziness from the other room. You guys behave. Okay. I am back. Our palette has been cleaned, so fresh and so clean. I got my tea. It's gonna be way too hot to drink right now. Somebody remind me to drink it before it gets cold in like 10 minutes. Always ends up cold. Man, I'm just getting paint everywhere today. My desk is just covered. How did this happen? This watercolor blue too, it stains like a bugger. My poor purple desk. I might have to get a magic eraser involved. Okay. Let's see. Get some colors put down on the palette. We've got white. We will continue to segregate the white in a pot. Put them up here. Since I'm bad for contaminating everything with far too much white, we can't be trusted to put it in with the other colors. We're definitely gonna need green this time. I'm not mixing this much green. We're gonna need a lot of yellow by the looks of it. Hell, let's give ourselves some black, but we're gonna segregate it like the white. I don't think I'm gonna, well, okay, no, I will need a bit of red for the chimney. Okay. Probably realistically not enough paint. This is what we do every time, right? We don't put enough paint down, then we have to get more. Paint seems to be going fast today, you think so? Think I'm working faster than usual? Are these exercises paying off? Am I carrying less and getting quicker? I hope that's true. Okay, we're going to start with the very far background, even though most of it is going to get covered up. I've got, you guys can't really see it, it's down this way. I've got a little pot down here of just the leftover hardened white that I didn't quite wash off when I washed my palette. I'm just gonna use a bit of it. And a bit of green. And we gotta tone this green way down because it is way too vibrant for the distance. Didn't dry my palette off very well, and it little pools of water sneaking into my mixing. Okay, we toned it down too much. More green. More green. Always more green. Yeah, you think I'm doing faster than before? Good. That means we're making progress. Okay, pretty happy with that. So there is just kind of a distant can only probably barely see what I'm doing here in the reference image. But behind the trees and everything, you can see kind of like fields, and there's 3 layers. There's 1, 2, 3, and then the like distant mountain layered in back there. And like I said, you will barely be able to see this peeking through from all of the tree that we're gonna put on top of it, but it's gotta be there nonetheless, so in she gets. I think this might still be a little too dark. The atmospheric perspective and all, it's actually pretty pale back there. And it's just a little bit darker at the horizon for some reason. Just get a little bit of that in at the top. And then the next layer down is much yellower. Everything always gets a little warmer and more vibrant in the foreground, so just take the same thing, but warm it up. Load my brush up and just get her in there. I think we need more vibrancy than that. Not enough of a difference between it and the guy behind it. Try that. That's better. And then one more layer. Excuse me. Oh man. It's tickling in my throat. 1 second, guys. Not a sneeze, it's a cough. I don't know if it works for coughs. I thought it only works for sneezes. It's in my throat today, not my nose. I missed the chance. Does looking at the light help when it's a cough too? I don't think so. I don't know. Some tea in there to have a Ricola. Sorry, you guys are gonna have to watch me eat a Ricola. Coat it all minty down there so I don't cough anymore. Phone keeps buzzing behind me. I don't know what people are pestering me about. It's just Goldie telling me that he's been dropping everything at work today. Apparently he's decided it's clumsy boy day. Now you want a Ricola? Go get a Ricola. Do you have Ricolas, or would you have to like literally go out and get them? I'm a big fan of Ricolas. Okay, how did we get like a huge chunk? Right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a big old chunk of hardened gouache stuck to the page. Get out of there. You don't belong on there. That's what we get for using our dried yesterday gouache to coat the base. You don't have, and you don't want to go out with the snow? That's a shame. You should always have a store of candies at the house. If I didn't have Ricola, I got candy canes back there, I got lollipops back there. Always gotta have a big backup of candy. Honestly, I'm still not quite happy with the vibrancy of this. I think I'm trying to pick colors that are too similar to what the actual picture is instead of trying to be stylized like we said we were gonna be. You can't have the candy because you eat it all in one sitting. Well, it's silly. You're not supposed to eat it all in one sitting. Or maybe the key is you just get so much of it that it's impossible to eat it all in one sitting. I'm a candy fiend. Junk food in general I'm really bad for. If I don't have like a lot of snacks in the house, I just start to get angry. To make sure I always have like little chocolates and candies and chips. And if I don't, I gotta go get them. I just gotta. It becomes a quest. I'm not a very disciplined individual, especially when it comes to anything food related. I'm disciplined in that I don't eat meat, and I will not eat meat, but in the scheme of every other health related thing that you should care about when it comes to your eating habits, I ain't good for it. You smoke weed and you'll devour it all in one sitting? Yeah, I guess I don't blame you for that. I can see how that would happen. The munchies are real. I don't eat fish, no. I will eat mussels. Because mussels are basically plants. They're they have no central nervousness, so they can't feel. And also mussel farms are like actually good for the environment. And so I'll eat mussels. I will not eat fish or any meat though. Just those veggies. bushes back here are actually rather dark. Try and get the shapes of them in. Does that include scallops? I don't eat scallops, but I don't know the, I've never looked up if scallops are the same deal as mussels. I think it's just mussels. I feel like scallops can feel, but I don't know that for sure. Don't quote me on that. But I'm also not, as, like, hyper-vigilant of a vegetarian as some people are. Like, I don't avoid gelatin, really. Like, I'll eat gummy bears and stuff, which is technically animal-based. I can just only care about so many things, you know? And that ain't one of the things I can care about. I don't know, but you know that they try to escape when you grab them? Jeez. Yeah, I think scallops are, like, surprisingly smart. I don't think they're like mussels, but...
Done. Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
I low-key hate these sound bites. They're harshing on my vibe. Thank you, Sandflea. After the number of times I dropped my paintbrush yesterday when I was streaming, I was unsure if I should be wearing a white shirt. It remains to be seen. We've got a couple hours and we'll see if I get paint on it before the stream is over. I do have to do laundry anyway, so... if I wreck it, it'll just go in the laundry, but... The skirt that I'm wearing is probably my most worn piece of clothing. I love this skirt. It's my most comfortable skirt. It fits perfectly. And I just always want to be wearing it for some reason. Okay. Do we... you know what? I'm just gonna work on this, this grass area up here for a bit. It doesn't, interfere with much, so... it'll be easy to work on without having to make decisions elsewhere. Now you want to kind of see me paint it? No way, man. I'm not putting paint on it on purpose. That's crazy talk. Not on purpose. You want a fit check? You want to see the full fit? I can show you the full fit. How far back are we going? I should wear the tail when I stream too, but I feel like it'd just get in the way, you know? Like I said, this is my favorite skirt. I wear this skirt all the time. I wish I had like 6 of them in every color. I kind of do. I have a lot of skirts very similar to it, but none of them fit the way this one fits. I just can't get them. I can't get another one that just like fits. I can sit with it, yeah. It kind of, I don't even know if you'd see it on stream if I was wearing it. It's, you know what, I'll grab it 1 second. Your cat loves to sit in the window and watch the stay freeze outside. Stray? Oh, the strays freeze outside. That's just cruel. Okay, 1 second. I'll grab it. I'll grab it just for you. Wear it today and see if it gets in the way. I don't know if you'll even be able to see it. Let's like lay it behind me. They like to fight, so they had it coming. You let him outside and he fights with the cats outside. Did they fight over corn? Are all the neighborhood cats obsessed with your cat's indoor cat corn life? Honestly, it's not that in the way. It just kind of like sits behind me. It's floppy, so it's like having a stuffed animal strapped to your bot. We can work with it. Like I've said previously and on stream, I wear the ears and the tail usually when I'm at festivals, and dancing without the tail on just feels wrong now. You can just feel it like swish to the beat, you know? Swishes to the beat. But when you get used to that and then you don't have it, it's like I'm jumping around and nothing's flopping about back there. It's no fun. She sneaks out from time to time. She sneaks out to find her cat boyfriends outside. I definitely, I can't imagine what, like, any animals that have to live outside this time of year are going through. We were walking, to get coffee, me and Goldie, the other day. Yesterday, I think? Yesterday morning? And the city is so buried in so much snow that I was just thinking about all of the, like, mice and moles and, like, snakes and, like, just the wildlife that, like, lives out there, and the fact that it just, like, it has to be out, they all have to be outside, they're just out there. The birds, just, like, there's packs of pigeons all, like, puffed up and huddled together, and they have nowhere to be. And I just felt so bad for them. Like, we're so deeply spoiled as humans. We get to be inside people. And we spoil our pets, and they're lucky enough to be inside people. And that's just crazy. I can't imagine just having to be outside all the time. I love being inside. I love being warm and comfy and having fuzzy blankets and soft surfaces. And it's just crazy that for like the grand scheme of human civilization, like people have just been like cold and haven't had central heating or air conditioning for like basically all of it. You know how lucky we all are? We're so insanely lucky. It's crazy. Throws me off balance when I'm not wearing it. Yeah, it's like actually removing a tail from an animal. It's I need it for balance. That's where my vertigo stems from. It's from not having a tail. I can't balance well because I don't have a real one. You've been thinking about getting chickens, but you're not sure if they'll survive the winter there. I'm sure they would. I'm assuming there'd be breeds that were like specifically bred to endure winters. Like Canadians up here have chickens. And I don't think they have any issues, so... and our temperatures can drop really low. I assume you just need a, like, coop that they can hide out in. And I guess you'd have to be able to, you'd need, like, one of the electric water bowls so that their water and stuff didn't freeze, but I think they're kind of bred for it. Or maybe if it gets cold, you'll just have to take them inside, and they can be inside chickens. You can put little diapers on them, and they can run around with your cat and eat corn. Best viewers on stream, boo guys. Hour and 40 minutes in today, they're running late. Don't forget, you can go get your cheap and best viewers, everyone. Very important, that. It's one of the positions to have them in the basement. You can wash their poo away because it drains in the basement, really. Basement chickens, I don't know. Do chickens like being in the basement? I guess in the winter. They would probably like it better than being outside. I know I would. I'd rather be a basement person than an outside person. I really like chickens. I really like all farm animals. I've done a little bit of work on farms. We used to volunteer for a like farm sanctuary. And then we've also done woofing, which is like a work for stay program on farms where you can kind of travel Canada. I think it's worldwide actually, but we only did it in Canada. You stay on people's farms and you do work for them, and in exchange they will feed and house you. So it's a cheap way to kind of like see things. So we did that a couple times. And also where we lived in PEI first, our landlord, it was in the country, and our landlord had a bunch of farm animals, chickens and goats, horses, a donkey. And so we would help take care of them. And when they went away on vacation, we'd be in charge of their farm. And all farm animals are just, they're really sweet. Chickens are kind of dumb, but they just, I don't know, there's something about the noises that they make. Those like little like cooey noises I find very satisfying. And they're just so fun to pick up and hang out with. I don't know, I really like chickens. I like ducks a lot too. You want a donkey? Honestly, the donkeys were so sweet. A lot of people get them as protection though, because they can be pretty feisty. The one farm that I stayed at, they had donkeys, and the donkey's job was basically the bodyguard for the goats. because there were coyotes and stuff in that area that would try and pick off the goats, and the donkeys just acted as bodyguards. If anything, even like a cat or a fox or anything came into the pen, the donkeys would like chase it down and trample it. So they can they're beefy guys, donkeys. They're surprisingly aggressive. Not towards humans, at least not if they're like properly what's it called, reared, but they can be very good defense animals to have. Got a yard for it, but you don't know if it'd bother the neighbors. They fight them. They use them here to protect the other animals also. Yeah, it's interesting because like, yeah, donkeys don't really have a lot of like what you would typically think of farm animals being used for. They don't make like well, I'm sure they make milk, but we don't like drink donkey milk, and we don't harvest donkey hair or anything like that. And it's not exactly common for them to be raised as meat animals either, so people often keep them either just as like fun pets or as protection animals. They're bodyguard animals. They're really sweet. I find goats are really sweet too. At least if they're hand raised, they are. They can be very scared of people if they're not, but my least favorite farm animal are sheep. In my opinion, sheep are assholes. I don't like them. I don't like sheep. All the sheep that I've known have been kind of rude and a little scary, honestly. They're one of the scarier farm animals. The one farm that we worked at, you would go out and you'd have to herd them in for dinner and stuff, and you'd be surrounded like on all sides by like 20 sheep, and one of them would just like, it'd come up to you and it'd put its head up against your leg like this. It'd just sit with its head like this up against your leg, and it would slowly pull its head back and then bonk your leg. And it'd just start doing that like from further and further away, and like harder and harder until you like figured out a way to get it to stop. And they all would just do that to you. So you'd be constantly like trying to stand somewhere, and these like sheep would just be like slamming their heads into your side. They use donkeys a lot to make mules. That makes sense. You've got a lot of Amish people, and they use mules to move the carriages. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The mule is a good, like, what's it called? Like, haul animal. I guess donkeys are to a degree as well. Not as much for pulling, but for, like, carrying goods. But with cars and stuff, that's not as common of a, like, need for people as it used to be. But you can't, like, you could try and kick it away, but they're, like, pretty big, hefty animals. Like, mostly I just, like, push them in, like, the different direction and then try and move before they got a little too gung-ho with their slamming. But yeah, they were little jerks. They're hard to wrangle, too. We used to have to, clip their nails and stuff, and you've got to like wrangle them into the barn and then like pick them up and sit them on their butt and like hold them there while somebody else does the clipping. It's just exhausting, like exhausting work. It's not one of the more enjoyable farm tasks. Not a big sheep fan. Although I do love needle felting and yarn spinning, so it would be tempting to own sheep just so that I could have the fiber for art, but... And there's a chance if you had a smaller flock and you like hand raised all of them that they wouldn't be quite as like skittish and aggressive and stuff, but the ones that I've interacted with are not. Cows are some of my favorites. Basically every cow I've ever interacted with has been like extremely sweet and curious. My mother got cows. They raise baby cows, so every year they get a few. The baby ones are so sweet. They're so cute, like ridiculously cute. I had to bottle feed a baby cow at one of the farms that we worked at because they got the calf, but there wasn't a milking mother on the property. So I had to hand bottle feed it every morning. And I knew that they had purchased the calf as a meat cow, and that they were just raising it, and before the year was out, they were gonna kill it and eat it. And that was one of the big things that like eventually made me stop eating meat, because like, man, I could not do that. I could not feed a cow every morning and love that thing, and then just like 10 months in, just like lop its head off and eat it as a burger. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. She sends you pics every time a new one is born. They're so cute. Like, they're so ridiculously cute. They like follow you around. They make the cutest little mooing noises. I can't with them. They're too sweet. Eat a different one? Well, that doesn't help. That one didn't want to be eaten either. Can't just keep some as pets and kill the others. That was my biggest reason why I've stayed vegetarian, is that at the end of the day, I told myself, like, if I don't think that I could personally do the killing, like if I couldn't take an axe and chop the head off a chicken so that I could eat it, then I shouldn't be paying somebody else to do it for me. And I couldn't. There's no world where I could actually do it myself, so I do not eat meat because I just couldn't do it. I could not. I don't have really an issue with other people doing it, and especially if those people totally could pick up the axe and lop the head off themselves, but for me, I cannot. Cannot. You can't if you're not emotionally connected to them. Yeah, you would think like I could do that mentally, but I don't know. The empathy in me runs too deep, I guess. But also I wasn't raised in a like farm environment, so it's not something that like I was exposed to or anything as a kid. Very much a like suburban kid who just like food comes from the grocery store type of mentality. And when you're raised that way, kind of the brutalities of the food industry get kind of lost on you. So when you finally learn about them and experience them, it feels a little bit different than for people who were raised totally like aware and knowing of what really goes into making some hamburger, right? So, but like I said, I don't really begrudge people who eat meat. I just like, I can't do it. I just can't. The yellow is not very opaque, so it's gonna take a lot of building to get him up to the right tone. I think he needs touch of red in there. Okay, when I said a touch, I didn't mean that much. You could eat the lab-grown meat they make now. It's never alive, so it never dies. I would actually. I don't know if, like, is that something that's actually, like, made it to market? I know they've been experimenting with it, but I've never seen it, like, for sale anywhere. But yeah, if it was grown in a lab, I totally would. 100%. There's a couple like types of meat that I still kind of miss. Most of it, like, I don't even know if it would be appetizing to me anymore. Like, I haven't eaten it in so many years that I wonder if I would even like it now. But certainly there's some things that I do miss. I still kind of miss salmon. And I still kind of miss turkey. Honestly, I still kind of miss chicken wings. But there's so many good, like, vegetable-based, like, alternatives now. Like, you can buy, like, vegan hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff that are... They're great. Like, they taste good to me, so I don't need a meat hamburger when I'm, like, completely happy with the non-meat versions, but yeah, I would love if they'd get on that science and just, like, get making. Like, it's 2025. You'd figure, like, we'd have all sorts of crazy alternatives by now. You saw some, but it was used for dog food, really? You don't know if they're using it for people yet. Interesting. Huh, I'll have to look into that. I did not know that they had used it for dog food. That's very interesting. The one thing that's frustrating is that, like, grocery prices here have gone, like, so high that some of the, like, vegan meat stuffs that we used to get are just, like, so unaffordable now. It used to be, like, I could get a pack of, like, fake vegan ground beef for, like, $3 or $4 Canadian dollars. And they're, like, eight-ish Canadian dollars now, which is nuts. Which in American is probably, like, I don't know, like 10 or 12 bucks. Since our dollar is so low compared to the Americans. And a lot of cheap chicken here, but everything else has gotten really expensive. Interesting. I wonder why the chicken specifically is cheap. I find some stuff isn't so bad, but you just have to be willing to shop the sales. Like, there's a Farm Boy, which is a, like, Sobeys owned grocer. That's kind of one of our closer grocery stores to us. And it's kind of known as, like, an organics, like higher end, like Whole Foods-esque grocery store. But honestly, their prices are pretty good. Just not for everything. Like, you don't want to buy, like canned goods there. And if you're buying produce and stuff that's off season and not on sale, then it can get pricey. But if you shop their sales and what's in season, actually they're pretty well priced. You just have to be willing to, like, cook according to what is a good deal, which I totally am, so. Let me just have a peek and see if my stream health is doing okay. Still seems like there's been no issues, so once again, I don't really understand why I had that issue with my internet earlier. It's a mystery. It's always a mystery. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Ugh, sitting like a crazy person. My like hips and my knees always seize up because I sit with like my legs all like tied in knots down there, and then I don't realize until I have to move, and then you can't untangle them because they're all seized into place. Okay, trying to get... Not doing any of this very decisively today. It's probably because I'm not in a painting mindset, but we're doing it anyway. But, just kind of like working around willy-nilly. I'm not, usually I'm thinking a lot more about what I'm doing than I am today. I feel like I'm just talking and not really thinking about what's happening in the picture. Whether that's for good or ill, I don't know, but... Try and get some more dark patches in this roof and brush strokes in general. I find the little grassy areas always kind of clean themselves up when you just put a lot of little layers of tone in there and enough brush strokes in the direction of the foliage that it starts to... the brain starts to fill stuff in for people when they're looking at it. See, I kind of should have made this, yeah, a little bit taller. I'm gonna cut this out a bit further. See, there's Frodo screaming again. Somebody get him to stop screaming. I'm gonna have to write a complaint to this guy and be like, yo, your lo-fi Lord of the Rings tracks, they're good, but you gotta stop Frodo from screaming. It looks fine to you? Good. As long as it looks fine to someone. What I really need to do is start putting some like details in, but I don't even know if I have that in me today. I'm having trouble caring about this one. What time is it? It's only 5:30. We got time. We got time. Let's get some of the big shadows put in. Okay, we have to make a decided decision here, so... Realistically, that should be grass, so the shadow should be going under that. Should be going here. It's hard to do little architectural bitsies when you can't see them clearly because there's a bunch of crap in the way. this area in here, there's that like vine and tree and stuff, and so the way each of these little eaves and things interact with each other is it's kind of hard to parse through all of that. We'll do our best. I feel like I keep sticking my hand into things that feel slightly damp. Like, Frodo, shut up. I want to just be listening to the actual Lord of the Rings soundtrack, but I've yet to look into or figure out if, audio splitting is something that I want to be doing. Can be doing. I'm already growing tired of the having to use copyright-free music in streams instead of just listening to the music that I want to be listening to. But I do actually want the VODs, so I'm gonna have to look into how hard it would be with my setup to audio split so that I can listen to what I want and then just re-upload the VODs afterwards with some copyright-free junk thrown in on the VODs. Just kind of like I totally understand the copyright situation, and why if you made music or whatever, you have a right for people not to be using it without you getting credited for it. But I'm also just surprised we don't have a system like when you listen to a song on Spotify, the artists get a small amount every time it's played, right? I'm just surprised we don't have that, but for like content creation. That there isn't a service where you can use good, real, non-copyright written music for things, and that there would just be a situation where the artist could opt in and they would get paid every time it's streamed, and you would pay for the service to be able to do that. But just a lot of technologies that I feel like should be like in existence and accessible, given the fact that it is 2025 and we do have like a lot of technology available to us at our disposal, but things are just still kind of difficult to parse. But I'm sure it can't be that hard to just set up, what's it called? An audio channel that I can split. I just gotta get the time to figure it out. You can see now that I, for some reason, made this yellow come way too far over this way. I'm just gonna paint this in because proportions over here got all whack. Paint it in yellow and then redo the circle. Easy enough to just scrub stuff out. Hey, Raffle Iron Chef, how you doing? Welcome in. Hobbit Hole Life, really nice sky. You like the sky? I don't know if I like the sky. I'm thinking deeply about messing with it some because I'm not that into it. But I'm holding off until we get more done before I make any harsh decisions. Yeah, this is like a texture thing. It's not actually wet. I don't know what's going on there. It is picking up a little more chaotically on camera than it is in the real life. I don't know if that's a paper texture thing or a what's it called thing? A lighting thing. I'm not sure. But I think I'm gonna go in and fuss with the sky a bit afterwards. We're trying to see if working on the foreground elements makes me like it any better. Looks real wild on camera. Yeah, it does. When I'm looking in the like Streamlabs preview, it does look like wet. It looks like it's like not dry at all, but it is completely dry. There's no wetness left up there. I can fuss if I want to. I can leave my friends behind. I think we all know that I'm going to fuss. If you've been here before, you know. You know I'm not the kind of person who can just like leave well enough alone. That's not me. Although we're trying to. We're doing the same thing that we've said we've been doing, which is care less, paint more. I don't know if it's working for me or not, but like I said, we're here. We're here and that's what matters. Part of my process is fussing? Absolutely. And that makes it spiritual, right? That's what you said. If it's part of the process, it's spiritual. It's spiritual fussing, so I don't want to hear anything about it. I gotta get this, like, I put this, like, line of brown tone in here, as, like, the underlayer to the grass, and then as I was putting the grass in, I clearly thought that it was, the eave, when it's not the eave, it's above the eave. So I'm just gonna, it keeps, like, messing with my mind that it's sitting there like that, so I'm just gonna blend it into the grass a bit and bring the grass down over it so I can wrap my head around it a bit better. Okay. For this to work, I need to be mixing my gouache up with less water. Thicker paint, please. More opaque, yes, please. More green. It's more like it.
No parent should have to bury their child.
Like, actually, you're gonna soundbite Theoden sobbing over his dead son. That's just cruel, man. Don't do that. Silly. Extremely silly. See, the thing is that, like, I should be deciding what I'm doing with the sky because I'm avoiding putting, like, any of these little, like, sticky, grassy lines up into it because I know I can't mess with what's behind it once I put them there. So I should be making a decision. Oh. Yeah, we're gonna mess with it a bit. We're gonna do it. We're gonna put some gouache in there. Looking good? Thanks, Kels. It's coming along. It's coming along slower than I'd like, but it's coming along. We've decided we're going to mess with the sky some more. I need a bigger brush for this, though. Where'd my mop go? How quickly is the regret gonna set in once we start messing with this, do you think? Instant? Instant regret? I think there's none in the picture, but I think I might put some smoke coming out of the chimney. Snacks is always a yes. Not a very physical outdoor action person. You have a bit of the tism. Really? Told him he'd be a sober tonight and drive. But I'm not sure I relish the thought of an indoors go-kart place without being on an edible. But I don't really want to drive or play laser tag on edibles. I mean, the driving I get. Laser tag on edibles sounds great. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I missed. This is why I'm confused. I missed. Wonder if I should have a snack before tonight. Hubby called an audible? And we're going go-karting. I don't know. I think you could, if you're not driving, I'd do the edible. Personally. But I'm a bad influence, so. Snacks, though, yes. Kels is right. Snacks, always yes. In fact, I think I might grab a snack. My tummy is grumbling. You like it better already? Good. I don't know how I feel. Okay, see, that soundbite would have been, like, kind of cool if, like, a really sick beat drop happened after he said it, but... it just feels wrong in Lo-Fi Town, I don't know. So you guys are just gonna have to keep listening to me complain about this, because... I don't know, man. It's dumb as shit. I think it's dumb as shit, okay? Okay, I'm gonna let that dry, see what that looks like. Chef is a snack? I believe that. You're too small a bean for a whole meal? You're just a little guy, you can't have a whole one? I think you can do it. I believe in you. He's the full course meal? Oh man. You better be blushing. Kels knows what she's talking about. You're in your glow up period and you trimmed your whiskers today and you wore clothing? Is that usually you don't wear any clothing? The standard is no clothing, full whiskers, and perfume and showered. Wow, you're gonna wash your hair today, Kels? That is big plans. I washed mine this morning and then I let it air dry instead of styling it. I don't know if it worked or not. Does it look crazy, you guys? Or has me wasting my time styling it for like the last month just been like a waste? I should always just let it air dry, because this is what happens when I let it air dry. You already did so many things today, Kels. What'd you do today? Here, you guys keep talking. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna grab a cookie so I can eat while I'm waiting for this to dry. We're running low on cookies. Goldie's gonna have to make some more. Usually you just slide around on your belly, which is also foot, leaving a trail of slime and shame. So let me get this straight. Your stomach is a foot and it leaves slime as you roll around? Okay. Sounds pretty gross. Sounds pretty snail-like. I'm sure you're exaggerating. I'm sure when you're full of whiskers and unclothed, you're just as much of a snack. But I'm proud of you if you've decided to put a little bit of the extra effort in for the husband today. Get your go-kart and fit on. Send out an order, check P.O. Box, thrifted, therapy. Did you find anything fun thrifting? I haven't been thrifting in a while. I love thrifting. I have a hard time convincing myself to buy new things because it's hard to feel like you're contributing to like the waste in the world. And for some reason I feel absolved of that when I'm thrifting. It's like, somebody else already bought it, it already exists. It makes you feel like it's not being as wasteful. Kels, you are doing the ding dong dang thing. Props to anyone getting anything done today. This is all I'm getting done today. And it's not even getting done today. I can tell you right now, we're 2 hours, almost 2 hours and a half in. This ain't getting finished. There's no world where it's getting finished. Bushy tail is bushy. You're fixating on it? This guy? My tail? We're trying it out. We're seeing if he gets in the way today. Sandflea requested, so we're gonna give it a try and see if I can live with it. So far, it hasn't really gotten in my way. Do you find it too distracting? It's too bad, like, I can't get it to, like, wag back here when I'm happy or something. It has no life of its own, unfortunately. A puzzle in an old man sweater? That's honestly really exciting. I love puzzles, like, unreasonably love puzzles. There's a store near me that has a, like, I don't know if you guys know the artwork, The Garden of Earthly Delights by Hieronymus Bosch. It's like a triptych 3-panel thing of, like, hell, basically. It's a really famous artwork, and it's one of my favorite, like, historical artworks. And there's a place near me that's selling a puzzle for it, but the puzzle's like, it's like 120 bucks. And it's 9,000 pieces. And I was like, God, I want that so bad. Like, I want it so bad, but like I can't spend $120 on a puzzle, and I have nowhere reasonably that I could do a 9,000 piece puzzle. Like I don't even know how big of a table you would need to do a 9,000 piece puzzle. I do a like 1,000 piece on my parents' like normal sized dinner table, and it takes up the entire thing. Like, how big is the 9,000 piece one? Yeah, Hieronymus Bosch is sick, honestly. Very ahead of his time, man. Very interesting work. But yeah, no, big fan of puzzles. I'm jealous. Maybe if I got a big enough table, I could do a puzzle stream. And you guys could spend like 400 hours watching me do the Hieronymus Bosch puzzle. Puzzle is A Sunday on La Grande Jatte by George Sarut. I don't know if I know that one. I'm gonna look that up. What the hell? I can't copy text from the stream chat on Streamlabs. You're gonna make me type this in with my actual hands? How rude. Sunday on La Grande Jatte. Oh, this one, the Ferris Bueller painting. The one that they like zoom in on. That's a good one. Honestly, good picture for a puzzle as well, because the like color blocking and stuff will make doing the puzzle, recognizing areas and stuff kind of nicer. As a kid, you had a book called Pish Posh Hieronymus Bosch, and your parents were fun folks. Your parents do sound like fun folks. What is this? How is that a kid's book? I'm looking it up too. Pish Posh Hieronymus Bosch. Oh, Pish Posh said Hieronymus Bosch. Honestly, the art in this goes hard. This is sick. Get me a copy of this children's book ASAP. The frame painting? That's sick. Look this up, guys. It's sick. You're missing out. $3. Hopefully has all its bits. I feel like I've had pretty good luck with puzzles from the thrift stores. I've definitely gotten some where you're like missing a piece, but it's rare. I think usually you get them all. I have faith. I have faith that they're all gonna be there and you're gonna get it done, and it's gonna be beautiful. Fun parents? What's that? What? Kels, your parents aren't fun? You don't have fun parents? They didn't read you crazy Hieronymus Bosch kids books? Kids book for adults who want their kids to be more like adults. So is that what your parents wanted? They wanted you to like grow up like smart and fast, turn you into an adult as quickly as possible? None of that kid stuff? My parents are pretty fun. They definitely didn't read me any Hieronymus Bosch books, but They did do lots of puzzles with me, so there's that. They wanted to be socially appropriate and stuff. Don't we all? Aren't we all supposed to be wanting that? Honestly, you know what bothers me more than when a thrifted puzzle has a piece missing from it? When you chronically do puzzles as a family at your house, and you're, say, a teenager, and say this is one of your favorite pastimes. Your families you do puzzles at the kitchen table. And your house also happens to be that like one house where like all of your friends and all of your brother's friends hang out at your house. They just are there all the time. And a lot of the time they do the puzzles with you, and this all sounds great, except your brother has this one friend, this one rude, cruel, intentioned friend that every single time you do a puzzle just took a piece and just left with it and took it home with him, and would wait patiently until the puzzle was done, and the next time he rolled in would like slam it on the table like, you guys were looking for this, weren't you? That's what I hate. That is truly what I hate. I hate that more than when the puzzle is just missing the piece. Jokes on them, autism is forever. Whatever, you're still cute. That's where it counts. I'm surprised your parents aren't fun, Kels. You seem like fun. How'd they raise a fun kid? If they were sticks in the mud the whole time. Cheese sandwich, you think, for your snack? That's a pretty good snack. My cookie was good. My tummy is no longer grumbling now. And we can start painting again. Psychologically, how did he turn out? Not well, I don't think. I don't think a lot of my brother's friends turned out that psychologically well. Something not right about that boy. My brother's friends were always up to hijinks at our house as well. I don't know why. My parents tolerated it though, that's what made them the fun parents. They let my friends and my brother's friends run rampant in their house doing whatever we pleased. You either go the same way or run the opposite direction, you guess. That makes a lot of sense, actually. My spouse, Goldie, I wouldn't say his parents are particularly fun. And he's a lot of fun, so. We talk a lot about the differences in our upbringings because my parents had a very, like, whatever, like, let them watch the R-rated movies, let them, like, play the violent video games, like, let them do what they want, and they're good kids and they'll like know how to like be human beings despite being exposed to that stuff. Whereas my spouse's family was very much like they saw him play Mortal Kombat and somebody get his head cut off and they were like, oh my god, you can't have this video game, we're taking it away, you have to play like Barney's hide and seek now instead. And it's interesting because me and him are very similar people, but our upbringings were wildly different, so I guess everything is always just a strange back and forth of nature versus nurture, and we all end up very different people, sometimes with the same upbringings and the same DNAs. It's odd. Oh yeah, in therapy, that's how you're this way. Honestly, good for you though. Somebody's got to break the mold, right? Your parents were loose about movies and music, but everything else was highly policied, zero privacy. Ooh, I hate that. I remember being a kid and like the number of times that like your parents would like go through your like diary or something like that. And yeah, just being deeply scarring to me. Not that they were bad for stuff like that, but the couple times any kind of like privacy issues were a thing. It definitely stays with you.
It's done. Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
One time your mom printed out your entire ICQ history. What's ICQ? Oh, internet chat? Something? Instant chat? Instant chat? Something? I'm assuming this is like an MSN log. Is this like a different instant messenger MSN log type situation? I would have been really screwed if my parents ever figured out how to print out my MSN logs. That was lucky that they didn't know what I was getting up to there. What kind of secrets were in this ICQ history of yours that got you grounded? What were you talking about? Was it all just like, man, I hate my parents, they're so lame, and they got mad about it? Oh, this is a pre-MSN thing. I see. I don't know how old you are, Kels. I assumed you were around my age. But if you're saying pre-MSN, maybe you're a little older than I am. I don't think MSN was like my first instant messenger. Until Facebook eventually kind of eradicated it over time. You guess you're old? I don't think you don't seem that old. There's no way you're that much older than me. I'm 32. I was born in 1992. I'll be 33 in August, which is crazy. We're all getting up there, I guess, but can't fight nature. Your kid's gonna turn out how they turn out. Yeah, that's fair. There's only so much you can do. I think the key is usually just like give them the best shot by being supportive and making sure they have the resources they need to be a good human being, and then hope for the best. But to be fair, like I could never raise a kid. I don't want kids, and I don't think I will ever change my mind on that. And I do give kind of a lot of respect to my parents and the notion that they were like just willing to raise me and my brother, because there is no world where I would be willing to raise a kid. I am far too selfish for that, and also I would be so neurotic about whether or not they would turn out right. Just be worried about everything. You're 38? You don't seem 38, Kels. You seem younger than that. Good for you. You look good for 38. It's that rad hair that you've got that you're gonna wash today. Destined to be rad. Of course. Yeah, I agree. The kids conundrum, right? Like, especially when you're in a relationship for a long time. Like, me and Goldie have been together for just shy of 15 years. It'll be our 15-year anniversary in May. And when you're with someone statically for that long, you just start getting the questions, right? Like, everybody you know is like, so when are you getting married? When are you having kids? When are you gonna do those things? Because that's obviously what you're gonna be doing, right? And then when you say like, we're not doing that. You can't make us do that. We're not doing it. You'd think after 15 years, people would like give up and be like, no, they're totally not doing it. Like, we should probably stop asking. But no, the grandparents, they still love to ask, you know, like, you sure you're not gonna settle down, you know, have the kids, do the thing? And I'm like, I don't want to. I don't like that. It's not for me. God bless the people out there who, like, it's for them and they want to do that, but the world is a nightmare to navigate for me. Like, I don't want to make another person have to navigate it. You don't want to participate in perpetuating humanity. Honestly, I can kind of relate to that. We need to be downsizing our population as a society, not upsizing it, so... The idea that the world could heal if we stop making babies is pleasant to you. Yeah, I agree, 100%. It's frustrating because then you get that sensation like, okay, but like not everybody thinks that way, and so the people that are having babies are totally the people who like don't care, and they're not worried about the future, and they're not worried about like global warming and the state of the world affairs and everything. And then you're like, okay, so like you have to be like kind of dumb to like think it's a good idea to have a baby right now, right? And then you just wonder like, are we gonna be in like idiocracy? Like only the crazy people will be procreating, and then many years from now, like those genes and that teaching will have like inherited the earth. It'd be absolute chaos. I don't know. All I know is I'm not doing it. Idiocracy for real? We watched that kind of recently, and honestly, like, it was a little too close to home. Like, a fun and funny movie, but it had a sensation of, like, we're kind of living in it, though. I don't know. I felt a similar way the last time I watched The Hunger Games, where, like, the capital is, like, so materialistic, and, like, everybody's, like, dressing crazy, and they just don't care, and, like, I just saw a lot of like real actual today's society and the way the capital is depicted in the Hunger Games, and I was like, oh no, what is happening? It's not actually the way the world's going, is it? But I don't know, kind of is. Kind of seems like it is. But I can get down with the Crocs. There's no way they thought about it enough before making a baby. The Crocs. I don't know who you're talking about. The Crocs? You can get down with the Crocs. Just know I don't want to make babies, please and thanks. Well, Iron Chef, aren't you married to a boy? I don't think you have to, like, it's not... You'd have to work really hard to accidentally make a baby, I think. So I think you might be safe. Yeah, exactly. Pretty sure he's safe. Alright, I'm gonna add a little bit of smoke, I think. Just a little bit. I know it's not in the picture, but I hate a chimney that doesn't have smoke coming out of it, so let's get in smoke. Use the pull-out method. In any other situation, I would say that that method is not effective birth control, but for you, I think you can make it work. Chef is marked safe from babies. Honestly, they should give us that on social media. We should be able to mark ourselves safe from babies forever. I would slam that button so fast. You're never truly safe. Those things are everywhere. It's weird. I've never like been a person who like has had friends with like kids, and just the way my family dynamic was when I was younger, there weren't really like babies around in my family. Like I'm the youngest and it's just me and my brother, and then my cousins aren't very much younger than we are, so like I was basically a toddler when they were still babies. So I have no real experience with babies. And a like friend of mine has been at a couple like gatherings we've gone to, and they have a baby, and their baby is always there, and it's like the first time in my entire life that I've had to like interact with a baby. And it's just so strange to me because it's not something I've ever had to do in the past. And it's weird that like people just like pass their babies off, that like they just like hand them around, and that the babies like are just not held to any like adult social standards. Like I wish we as adults could like just like stare at people and like roll around on the floor and like make weird noises and nobody would care, but it's not how it works for some reason. Let all the babies have all the fun. Maybe you should add a smoke if you know what I mean. Real talk though, babies love you so much, really? How come? What do you do? What do you do that makes the babies love you? Is this an innate thing? Like some people like babies, like they get a vibe off of and they like them? Or do you just know what you're doing? Great tits and a winning smile. Is that what babies care about? Why can't I stare and shit my pants? It's weird when I do it. Okay. It's a calm heartbreak, I think, actually. Oh, a calm heartbeat. Interesting. You're a Zen individual? You just have that vibe? The babies know you're safe? But no, seriously, like, babies, like, they, like, scream in public and we just, like, allow it? People could never. We're not allowed to do anything fun. You move steadily and have a calm heartbeat and smile with your whole face. Babies are dumb as shit though, and don't trust them. So babies trust you, but you don't trust babies. Interesting. Interesting, the double standard there. I feel like I trust babies more than I trust toddlers, to be honest. I don't have like a visceral like reaction to babies, like basically in any way. I know a lot of people look at babies and like some like internal like, oh, they're so cute thing happens in their mind. I don't have that. I do not see a baby and I'm like, wow, it's adorable. I just think like, it's whatever. I don't hate it. I don't like it. It's fine. I don't really want to clean it. Don't make me touch it. It's fine. But toddlers, I have like a visceral negative reaction to. They're, to me, like, I also hate monkeys, and I think it's the like, they're so close to being human, but they're not really yet. They're like people, but they're not people, and something about that weird interim like wigs me the hell out, and I don't like it. So toddlers, don't trust toddlers. Babies, you can trust babies. Don't trust toddlers. They're too human and not human enough. This tea has gotten very cold. Okay. I kind of want this chimney to be a lot redder than it is. Just gonna give it a little pink wash. Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I'm like fine with the sky now, enough so that I can start putting this back tree in. I think it's fine. I think I'm gonna just go with it. A lot of it's gonna get covered up, so. My instinct is to fuss with it more, but we've been wasting a lot of time this stream, so. We're gonna fight the instinct. Leave well enough alone. Toddlers are psychotic little fuckers. You're great with them too. Really? You're really good with all these like crazy little guys that you think are like psychotic and can't be trusted? I don't know what that says about you, Chef. I don't know. You can't help it, you're really good at talking to pseudo people. Is that why you're here? Am I a pseudo person? Am I just another crazy pseudo person, weird interim baby that you hang out with? I'm a fox girl, definitely a pseudo person, yeah. That's fair. You have me there. I suppose I can't argue with that. I am only half person. Half girl, half fox, you know? But at least I'm not a gross baby. You don't know. You don't know what I do behind closed doors. No, I'm not a... Don't worry, I'm not an adult baby. That's not on my list of kinks. Babies freak me out. Just, different people are into different things, I guess. That one ain't for me. That one definitively ain't for me. If it is your kink, God bless, though. Live your best life, for real. Everybody do whatever they want to be doing as long as they're not hurting anyone. That's the way. Should really be doing this with a smaller brush. Very risky to be doing it with a brush this large. Be putting this on opaquer. Okay, go down to smaller brush. I should probably try and get some of the shape of the foliage in there. These like silhouetted trees always take a long time to shape in. Realistically, there's like probably a way that I could be doing it quicker, but what that way is, I don't know. I could always outsource the leaves to a quicker artist. That's fair. Who's quicker than I am? Find me a gouache artist that can get this done ASAP and I'll send it out to them. Paint everything but hands and leaves and feet. Yeah, that's true. Just leave certain things out that are like too tedious. And it doesn't count as cheating because it's just part of my process. Right? That's how it works. I don't know if I could live with myself if I just sent the work out to somewhere else. Could have a hard time with that. Nah, it's cool. Everyone loves it. Efficiency, bro. If that were the case, shouldn't I just be like... I could just like open this photo in Photoshop and like put like... a like paint filter over it. And then be like, done, I painted this. Look, I made this. It was me. I am the artist here. Just copy and paste the photo into a folder and call it a day. Alright. I didn't know I could do that. If I had known I could do that, I would have been doing that. I wonder if... a script brush around here somewhere. I don't know if this is actually gonna work the way I think it's gonna work. I have a script brush for this kind of thing, but I don't know if it'll be... it's alright, actually. Sometimes this script brush just paints things on, like, thicker than I want it to, at least in acrylic. I tend to have to add a lot of, like, flow medium to get it to pull nice thin lines. But I guess because the gouache is water-based, it's not as fussy. Highly conceptual. My art takes place on the data structure level. It's more of an idea than a physical piece you can cough on. Put it in a gallery. Sounds like a work to me. Conceptual art is art too, you know. And that counts as the concepts that I have for art that are living in my brain that I will never bring to daylight. Just because they're just concepts doesn't mean they're not art. Can't put it in a gallery. It can haunt a gallery space in the figurative sense, though. That's fair. I guess it would be difficult to physically put it. Well, it wouldn't be difficult to physically put the data in the gallery. Just bring the computer in, then it's in there. Just put the computer on the floor of the gallery and laugh at anybody who doesn't get it. It's the way all great artists find their fame. Bullying people into believing their art is good. You just gotta bully people. Laughter is a good note. So it depends on where that laughter is stemming from. Twigs are exhausting. Contagious, yum yum. I suppose it is contagious. Kind of a laugh do you have, Iron Chef? Do you have a boisterous, big, booming laugh? Do you have a snicker? An evil little snicker, maybe? I don't think you'd have an evil little snicker. You don't seem like a snickery guy. Snicker, can you have a bite? Well, of course. Everybody can have a bite of the Snicker. Unless you're allergic to peanuts. Then I don't recommend it. You can still have one, but I don't recommend it. Are Snickers bars gluten-free, Kels? Can you eat them? Is that allowed for you? Can't think of why there would be flour in one. Can you have a Kit Kat? Kit Kat might have flour in it, wouldn't it? Because of the wafer? You have no idea? I can't believe you don't eat gluten, but you have no idea. That implies that you haven't actually gone to eat a chocolate bar in a long time. I could never. Kit Kat is cookies for sure. Oh, you're more of a Reese's person. Honestly, kind of a goated take. Reese's are great. I'll take any of it, really. I am not picky. I am just a candy and chocolate fiend. I'm a big Smarties fan. Smarties are one of my favorites. Crunch bar for you. Crackle is better. What's Crackle? I don't know Crackle. Is that a American thing? I know Crunch bars. Crunch is just the one with the Rice Krispie bits in it, right? I like those all right. I wouldn't put them that high up there, but I think they're decent. I like Crispy Crunch better. I like both Crispy Crunch and Crunchy better. I don't know if you have these in the States. This might be a Canadian thing. What kind of cookies did Goldie make? They're like a... I can't remember what the term is. It's just like a regular cookie base, and then they're rolled in like cinnamon sugar before they're baked. So they're like a cinnamon sugar cookie. Only recently tried gluten-free Oreos. I didn't know there were gluten-free Oreos. I bet those are probably good. I feel like the big companies usually turn out like decent alternatives. If Crackle is a thing anymore, haven't seen them in a few years. It's very similar to a Crunch bar. Crackle is what they call pork rinds in New Zealand. Is that what you're talking about? You're talking about pork rinds, right? The Filipino side of my family is very into pork rinds, but we call them chicharron. They're chicharron. They make vegetarian chicharron that you can get in Canada at the like Asian groceries, and it's actually damn good. It's terrible for you, but it's damn good. Addicting stuff. Why do I keep getting this tickly cough today? Sorry, guys. Gonna have to grab another tea, I think. Snickerdoodle. We call that, oh, snickerdoodle, yeah, I have heard it called a snickerdoodle. We just call them cinnamon cookies, or I refer to them as cinnamon cookies when we make them. They're like $11 of a box though, and you can get a puzzle and a sweater on that budget. For the Oreos, 11 bucks for a box of Oreos because they're gluten-free. That is honestly so brutal. I'm not surprised though, Canadian grocery prices have gone so stupid. But yeah, like, are you gonna eat the cookies or are you gonna like just buy the sweater and the puzzle? Part of why Goldie and I have been making cookies a lot lately is because grocery prices are insane, and we found a cookie recipe that uses like no dairy and no eggs or anything. It's oil based, so you use vegetable oil instead of a butter or margarine, and it's just like that, flour, sugars, and it's cheap as shit, but the cookies are so good. So you can make a ton of them and like it costs next to nothing. So we're on the homemade cookie binge. Okay, I'm gonna be just real quick. I'm not putting the BRB screen on. I'm just running for the tea. We got it. We're back. Don't worry, we got it. Ooh. Ooh, that's a spicy tea. Too hot to drink right now. Just have a wee checky on my stream health and all that. Still no issues, which is very good. I was very worried about this stream functioning after the internet problems earlier, so I'm very pleased that nothing is going wrong. You all must be very lucky. You must be good luck, chat. Okay, does this tree look like good enough? It needs more like little pokey dots. Just everywhere, but I don't really feel like adding them in. I wonder if I have a, something big and stipply. I need it's like a crappy brush. Something... That might work. Kind of doing the job. So again, my instinct on this would be to sit with like a single fine liner and poke every single leaf on there individually, but we're trying to get away from that as a method. Problem with doing it this way is that it doesn't go on like as opaque as I would like it to, but it's fine. Okay. Chef, do we need to get you a karaoke mic? You overindulge in the details? That is my kryptonite. I just want to like... I want everything to be given its own special little attention, and we're trying to break that habit, and it's not fun for me yet, but... Part of the problem is that the way we laid this out is not accurate to this picture, and we totally painted over our smoke, which should be in the foreground of this tree, so I have to get that back in there. Get her back in there. think I may have been overly ambitious with this picture today. I had some like simpler landscapes that I was thinking of doing, but I just didn't like them as much as this. This isn't exactly the kind of speedy study that I keep saying that my intent is to be doing. Oh no. Not 3 doors down. Maybe that's the solution to the copyright music problem. Here's the idea. We start a Discord. We open the Discord voice channel. We set it up so that you guys just go into that channel and you make the music for my streams. And then none of it's copyright because you're the ones performing it. Need to check the timing of tonight? Oh, come on, you don't have it logged away what time you're going go-karting? If I was going go-karting later, I would be so stoked. Oh boy, we've been live for a while. I am actually nearing the end of my allotted time to be streaming today. I have to go around 7. Because Goldie is coming home from work and he has a Elden Ring date with his brother. And because our setups are right beside each other, I can't stream while he's gaming. Ideally, there would be a world where I would have a room dedicated to this, but alas, our apartment is so tiny. But it's okay, because honestly, like, I'm not, my productivity has gone way down, and I am not getting much of value done, and I think walking away from this for the day and coming back at it tomorrow will probably yield me getting more done faster anyway. It's kind of interesting, this the chimney on this house is like brick at the top and stone at the bottom. I feel like that would be an insanely hard thing to like transition into as a mason. How's the painting going? It's going okay, Stanley. We've lost productivity for sure, and we're not going to be going for much longer. So well, it looks okay so far. Like, we're getting somewhere. We're just not getting anywhere as fast as we should be. So I'm not mad per se, but I'm also not happy. But when am I ever happy, you know? Kind of to be expected. Do we get Dubliner in Canada? You love that cheese. I don't recognize the name. We probably do. I can't imagine that we wouldn't. It sounds like something we would get. What type of cheese is it? Dubliner. I'll look it up. I don't recognize the packaging. Kerrygold Dubliner? Yeah, I don't recognize it. It's not to say we don't get it, but I definitely do not recognize it. I'm a Balderson stan. Baldersons, specifically the smoked cheddar Baldersons, is probably my favorite cheese. See, look, I said I was gonna stop leaving these in the water bucket, and I just keep leaving them in the water bucket. Sharp cheddar that's firm like a par, but not crumbly. Sounds good. I like sharp cheddars, and I like firm cheeses, so... But I've never seen it around. If I ever spy it, I'll buy a pack and report back. Gruyere textured almost. Interesting. I do like Gruyere. I mean, I'm not that picky. I like most cheeses. I would say... What do I not like? I don't like blue cheese. It just tastes like mold to me. It tastes... I can't enjoy the mold taste. It tastes like mold to me. I can't do it. And I think goat cheese is just okay. Like, I'll eat it, but its texture is a little mid to me. But other than that, like, I'm pretty, like... If it's cheese, I'm pleased. So good for the price point, you would recommend? I'll look for it. If we have it, I'll try it. It's so strange, how close we are with America, but how, like, different sometimes our, like, foods and stuff that we grow up with can be. Went on a date with a guy and asked him his fave cheese, and he said marble. And so that was the only date for reasons. That, that is such a weird answer. I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with marbled cheese, but, like, it's, like, as your favorite? To me, marbled cheese, like, it only exists, like, when you buy a cheese plate from the grocery store pre-made with, like, cheese cut into cubes. Like, it's the only place I've ever interacted with marbled cheese in my entire life. It's not a kind of cheese, it's a technique. It's not a Canadian thing, right? You guys have marbled cheese in the States, I'm sure. Honestly, like, so fair, though. I haven't been on the dating scene in, like, a million years, but I can imagine, like, if I was going on dates with people, the kinds of things that would be deal breakers for me would be so problematic. I am so lucky I have Goldie, because I would never find another partner. It would never happen. Like, literally everything I would be like, nah, I can't do it. Just can't. Just different colors of mild cheddar in a block. Yeah, it's cheddar basically. But it's usually, you only see it in, like, low quality cheeses. You don't really see marble cheese in, like, high end cheddars. It's like it's a low quality thing. I don't know. Like, tell me you haven't tried cheese. That's actually, like, that's the answer of a person who doesn't care about cheese. And honestly, it would be really hard to date somebody who, like, not just cheese, but, like, didn't care about food in general. I think, like, a love of food and an appreciation and, like, willingness to experiment with food is, like, so important. I could not date someone if they were, like, just, like, a chicken nugget boy, you know? You didn't stick around to investigate either. But he knows they add color in, right? It's not like a different kind of cheese. He's terrible at communicating, so that was the main thing. But marble cheese was a beige flag. Yeah, that's fair. It's not like... It's not the worst thing, but... It says something. And it doesn't say something good. That's rough. I'm glad this isn't, Soup Daddy's origin story. That'd be very depressing indeed. Kels, you deserve a partner that can enjoy cheese with you. Must love food. Absolutely. People who don't like food, I don't understand them as people. It actually boggles my mind. Hey, did the strange Lord of the Rings playlist end? It did. And it didn't even, like, fade out on Frodo screaming. Man. Kind of miss it now that it's gone. I mean, realistically, we only have, like, 15 minutes left anyway. Yo, okay, let's, like, just go crazy and go Dune lo-fi for the last 15 minutes. This works for me. We're gonna get bad Dune clips, too. If I hear a sound clip of the guy yelling Lisan Al Gabe, then this specific Spotify artist is being banned from the rotation. That's my opinion. Food is a super important love language for you. You fart and cry and do dishes and cook, and that is like 99% of your communication. Honestly, like, if you have a spouse that can, like, read between the lines of crying and farting, like, that's a keeper. That's a real keeper. Soup Daddy is mildly lactose intolerant, but he still eats it, and I respect that. Honestly, for real, though. That's commitment. Absolute commitment. We all sometimes eat things we know hurt us, but we do it anyway. I used to have a really bad honey allergy. I had a bad reaction to honey. Anytime I would eat it, I would get like red, like flaky hives that I would break out in. But there were a couple things like Toblerone bars that have like a bit of honey in them that I was so into that I would just be like, what's a couple blotchy red spots? It's fine. It's not like my throat closes. I just get blotchy. It's worth getting blotchy for. And I would eat the Toblerone bar and get blotchy. And then I did that for so long, and I started doing it often enough that I think I developed immunities, and now it hasn't happened to me in a long time. It's been years since I've had a breakout from a honey reaction. So the moral of the story is eat the cheese. Eat the cheese. Your body will figure it out. Just eat it. Come on, you can do it. Grant me the courage to eat what I can, the fortitude to survive what I cannot eat, and the wisdom to know the difference. Look, we only have so much time here. We might as well be eating tasty food. I'm a really big believer in, just enjoyment. I think there's a line to walk between living a life that is non-problematic, and like doing your best not to create unnecessary waste and just live helping other people and being like a nice person and everything. But then there's also a degree of like, we only got one life here, so like, eat the good food, man. Like, do it. Just do it. Enjoy the things. Sometimes you gotta. You don't want to be like on your deathbed like, oh, thank God I was like so strong and I didn't eat any of the like candy that's horrible for me. But now I'm sad because like I didn't eat anything fun for the last 20 years. You just gotta. You gotta experience stuff. You eat the local honey, it's supposed to help with exposure to allergens, so that makes sense. Interesting. I'd believe that. I guess the bees would like get all of their pollen that they put into the honey from the local allergens, and then it would like go into your system and you'd get better. Bees, man. Bees are strange. Kind of freak me out if I think about them. But boy, they sure do know how to make yummy honey. Honestly, so interesting. It is really full of things that cause histaminic reactions, but really small amounts of them sometimes. Honey is a wonderful natural medicine if you don't have access to real science. It's literally bee vomit. Actually, though, they're freaky little guys. Making yummy, yummy nature's candy in their tummy. And throwing it up for our delight. Maybe not for our delight, but... But we're gonna delight in it nonetheless. Because we're honey thieves. You think I'm gonna stop? No way. Okay. We got 10 minutes, guys. We got 10 minutes before I should realistically call it quits. How much can we possibly get done in 10 minutes? Even if we just figure out where a couple of these little features are gonna live. Probably help. Should be bigger. I feel like my attempts to try and be less precise are like swinging the pendulum in the wrong direction, and like I'm caring too little now. I gotta like rein it in just slightly and care like more than I currently do, but less than I usually do. Kels, I'm so audio stimmy that I sing the sub alert for your channel. Freaky Beekeeper would be a good name. Honestly, yeah. Movie had John Statham in it. Not enough bees, though. I was hoping for more bees. I didn't see it. Was it good? Is it worth seeing? Even without the bees? More facts about bees and less humans on screen trying to act. Sounds like what you really want is a bee documentary. No, it was bad. Okay. Okay, I won't watch it then. If it was bad, I won't watch it. Thank you. Thank you for saving me. You wouldn't mind a B documentary, but fuck Jerry Seinfeld, that dude is smug and not funny. I don't think I like actual Jerry Seinfeld, but I do actually like the show Seinfeld. I think the show Seinfeld is actually kind of comedy genius. But the man Jerry Seinfeld, like the real life man, I think is kind of an asshole. Yeah, are we talking about B-movie? Did I misconstrue this? We're talking about the animated movie B-movie, right? That I also haven't seen. I really tell, like, it looks like there's like a table or something that's sitting in front of this. It's kind of imprecise in the photo. I think I'll just kind of make it up. It's got some veggies on it. I don't know if I want to get into that kind of detail painting, but I will. I'm gonna make the shape of it. Just can't tell what any of that is. It's just like, I don't know if it's wood or something stacked. I think it could be a wood pile that's like stacked in there. The show was written mostly by Larry David. That checks out. You're talking about you were talking about B-movie, another iconic furry awakening. But why did it have to be Jerry Seinfeld? You can see yourself falling in love with a human if you were a bee for real, but not at all like it went down in the movie. You'd be way more chill about it and not so obnoxious about confessing your feelings at inopportune moments. You've thought about it a lot, actually. You had an awakening, you had a furry awakening with the B-movie. Is there a different, do we have a different term is there a furry term for like bug furries? Is that a thing? Do they have their own like sub-denomination? Is there like, what was the awakening? Is there like a hot bee in that movie? Is there like a handsome bee? A sexy bee? I'm gonna watch it now. I'm gonna put it on the list. I'm putting B-movie on the list. Find out for me, okay? Report back, chef. Find out what sub-denomination of the furry world is when they're into bugs and not furry creatures. Because, well, I'm assuming, wait, would it be something to do with like, because you can't say furry because bugs aren't really furry, so would it be like exoskeleton-ese? Antenna-ese? I don't know, buggies? Insecties? There's gotta be a term. Find me the term. It's gotta be out there. I should watch the movie but pirate it though, because fuck Jerry Seinfeld. I will pirate it, 100%. I pirate most of my movies. Probably shouldn't say that on like a public forum that's traceable back to me, but what can I say? I grew up on the Pirate Bay and I'm not about to stop now. Plus I'm just cheap, you know? Cheese is expensive. You can't afford it if you pay for your media. It's a tough life out here. It's a tough life. I bet you were real disappointed with Human Centipede. 0 centipedes. Came looking for legs. Oh man. Can you imagine if you went into the Human Centipede like wishing it was like a documentary about centipedes or just some like, just you didn't know. You didn't know what you were signing up for? That would be a disturbing movie to tuck into with no forewarning. I may work on this a bit tonight off stream since I've got time to kill. Or I may spend that time playing Overwatch. I haven't really decided yet. But if I come back tomorrow and a bunch of it is done that wasn't done at the end of this stream, then you'll know why. This ground area is very red. Surprised by how red it is. Okay, that was too far. I am master of the overcorrection. Yeah, it's tonally a bit better. Not nearly enough legs, true, and not enough leaf eating. Tusk was a masterpiece, though. That was hot. I haven't seen Tusk either. Friend told me how his partner got dumped as a teenager, and to cheer her up, her dad brought her to see Brokeback Mountain without knowing anything about it. Oh man, that's brutal. That's a tough one. That is, yikes. I've seen a couple like awkward films in theater with my dad, but something about the layering of it being like a cheering you up because you're like you've been dumped movie is extra brutal. Kells, I was looking after my grandma for a while as her dementia got worse. She insisted I take her to see the Borat movie, the one with the cute guy. The whole time she kept asking who is that whenever anyone was on screen. Her response, that was a crazy movie. It was a lot sexier than I thought. That is amazing. That is so good. That cute guy. You know, I've never once looked at Borat and thought, that's a cute guy. That's a sexy movie. But, I don't know. Your grandma, I don't know, she's wild, I guess. It's a cute suit, that's true. He does pull off the suit. Grandma was 100% untamable, wild, feral even. So that's where you get it, it's in your blood. Grandma passed it all down right to you, Chef. Alright, I think I just quit for now, you know? I don't got a lot left in me right now. I feel like everything I'm doing right now is not of any discernible value. I feel like if I take a break and maybe work on this later tonight and then I come back tomorrow, try again with fresh eyes and a good sleep in me, that maybe we'll get a little bit further, but we didn't make that much progress. It could have been worse, I guess, but it could have been better. You take after her in so many ways. Well, that's sweet. It's there's something about our lineages, right? You inherit things from your family, and some of them you're proud of, and some of them you're horrified by, but you know it's all true, and that they gave it all to you, so. It's all coming together, you think? You think it's coming together? I don't think it's coming together yet. I think it needs work to come together. I think it's got a ways to go. But, we showed up today, and that's all that matters, so. I got it! Oh, I gotta stop leaving my paintbrushes in this paint bucket. I'm so bad for this. I keep telling myself I'm not gonna do it, and then I do it. Just set up a, like, camera over there so you can all witness my shame when I do it, and you guys can shame me. That's what I need. I need public shaming for my poor brush care. These poor guys. I'll have to treat them extra nicely for the cruelty I've inflicted upon them. I'll have to give them a nice little soapy bath and dry them out properly this time, instead of just leaving them with gouache sitting in them overnight until they kind of crust over. You got a go-kart? Have a good go-kart. We're heading out to Chef. You timed this well. We're calling it quits for the night, so... Ooh, a nice soapy bath. Honestly, yeah. I should do both. I should make a soapy bath for me and then just bring the paintbrushes in with me. We'll all suds up together. It'll be family paintbrush bath time. I don't know if I have raid capabilities. I have not raided in the past. Do you need to be an affiliate to raid? I don't think so. It looks like I have raid capabilities. I am probably going to attempt to raid out for the first time and see how this works. I am going to raid over to Badley's channel. I'm Painting Badly, if anyone knows who I'm talking about. Because that's where I'm going, so... you don't have to be an affiliate, but it didn't work when you first tried. Well, let's see. Let's just see what happens. Raid channel. Let's give it a try. Alright, I'm hitting start raid. We'll see what happens. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Looks like it's working. We're sending you guys over there. You don't have to stay. You can leave and take a bubble bath, but that's where I'm going anyway, so we're all heading in there. Thanks everybody for hanging out, and see you guys tomorrow if you're in, if I manage to stream again, so.
Fire the nuclear